What's going on, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Dudeality podcast, where our motto is living comfortably uncomfortable. My name is Ian Perez, joined by Jonathan Mercado, Victor Rivera, and Chris Zora. We're four ordinary dudes with extraordinary dreams. Jonathan, what's up, dude?
What's up, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to another episode where we grow from the inside out. We turn our dreams into reality, and we stop all the wishing, and we start taking action. And in this podcast, we are going to be going over a legend, a man of steel, probably Superman himself. We're going to be talking about Mr. David Mother effing Goggins. All right, guys. I think it was just a great way to start off the, month two. As I start to see month one, people really don't start their goals and their fitness or their whatever goals. They don't take action until about the end of month one is what I've noticed. I don't know, like maybe it's like the holiday drag, like things are just simmering. Maybe you're trying to get developed. I think January is a year of planning for most people. And then the tail end of January, people start to take action. I've been going to the gym and I'm like, where's everyone at? And then just like a week ago, it's packed. I was like, I asked the guy up front. I was like, hey, is this a trend? I was expecting everyone to start January 1st. No. People don't start anything January. We get busy. Majority of the businesses get packed at the end of January. And I was like, oh, that's weird.
That is weird. Because I've always started things like on January 1st.
Yeah,
personally.
January 1st.
Yeah, like on this new year. But I can see that. I've been going to the gym too. And yeah, now that you mention it, I have noticed a couple more people in there than normal. And I'm like, I didn't even notice. I just noticed more people. But yeah, that makes sense.
I was curious. So what's going on, bro? Like people are just late starters. And hey, they start late and might finish late. You got to get ahead early. But let's go ahead and start with our wins and our losses, guys. We are just going to swing it to Mr. Victor. Give me a win, give me a loss, but most importantly, what did you learn from that loss?
Oh man, so win is I don't know if I said this, but I got my book done. So that was pretty good. And so I think last year, I don't know if I finished the book on time or I didn't, but this book was decent. So I finished that book. That was my win. As far as loss, man, I don't know if I have a loss this week. It's been going pretty smoothly. So I don't think I have a loss, but the only thing is that I'm struggling with the second book. That's I actually bought the audiobook from this book we're reading with the franchise Camp Gladiator. So it's a tough one, man. It's a tough listen. It's not even a read, it's a tough listen. And so
it's never split the difference. And yeah. I felt the exact same way. Chapter 1, I was like, oh my God, how am I gonna get through this?
So I'm trying to put myself in the right headspace and see it from from, because I think it's more of like, if you're like, well, to me it's like it's very heavy on like cop stuff, negotiator stories and things like that.
Intellectual.
Yeah. So I'm like, I can't really get it. Like I'm trying to absorb the knowledge that I can apply to myself, and what I need or what I can get out of it, type of thing.
How far are you? Are you in chapter 2?
Yeah, I'm in chapter 2 right now. Yeah.
The first chapter was nothing. Don't let the first chapter fool you. It's just kind of gives a brief. It was pretty boring. I'm gonna be honest. A lot of words that I had to look up. I'm like, oh, what does this word mean? But all I'm looking to expect to get is 1 or 2 nuggets from the book that I can put in my bag and just keep moving forward. And I know I'm not going to get it for the first 2 chapters. The second one gets a little bit better. Have you gotten to the story of the robbery?
I'm in that robbery right now. But what I did is I actually found like a summary of like chapter by chapter of this book. Yeah. So while I'm reading, I'm like looking at as I'm listening, I'm sorry, I have the summary. So I'm like, okay, I see.
Where'd you go?
Oh shoot, I'll send it to you. But
okay. I'm gonna need that too.
Yeah, because it's hard to pay attention some of the stuff because it goes heavily into the story, and I feel like I had to rewind a couple of times in case I missed some of the stuff he's mentioned, to be like, okay, well, like what did he say? Just making sure I didn't just like, how sometimes you're listening to something and then you're like all of a sudden you're like phase it out.
Yeah.
So that's what it is.
I feel you. Yeah, that's definitely tough, man. We'll get through it, but smart move on getting the cliff notes. Good idea. Mr. Chris Zora, what's up, brother?
Welcome back.
Thank you. Yeah, my biggest win of this past like week or so has been able to bring home a beautiful baby girl, healthy and she's doing great. She's flourishing at the house so far, like sleeping like crazy, but that's a good thing.
What they
She's
do right
already
now.
growing pretty
Yeah.
quickly.
Enjoy it.
Yeah. Loss of the week would just it's a loss of sleep for one. I mean, but as expected, but just loss of routine. Like I'm trying to figure. I know you guys have gone through this. You've talked about it earlier in the year. Just like trying to figure out how to plan things. Just like how to handle the day. Just trying to figure out my routine again and make it work in every aspect. Because right now it's all about the baby, especially being on paternity leave, enjoying the time with her. And my mom's here, so spending time with her too. But yeah, so I need to get back in the swing of things soon, though.
I feel you, man. It goes through seasons. As soon as you catch rhythm of whatever you're doing, then comes a different season of the baby's life where now here comes the lack of sleep, here comes the crying, and then now you're maneuvering, and then a different season of potty training. There's just different seasons. And so don't get too comfortable with the routine you got, because it's different struggles are becoming that's going to change up the whole routine.
I'm sure.
You got Mr. Stuart Perez.
Did you forget his name?
He's reading Zoom.
I'm reading Zoom.
No.
You like pause.
Stuart's
a little buffering.
Stuart's my street name. Call me Ian.
That's a street name, dude. That's funny. Watch, I'm gonna use it in the street. Like, you know, Stuart. Like, oh, we don't talk about Stuart.
You look like you about to have somebody.
No, it's cold as hell. Yeah, it's like the high today was 30 something, maybe if that. I was mainly in the 20s. So win for the week. I finished a book. Finally.
Yes.
Which, Steph kind of chuckled at me. She's like, "You didn't do all 12 last year." I said, "No." I said, "But I think I did like 4 or 5. I undersold it. I actually did 6 books last year, which is the most books I'd ever like listened or read ever since like high school.
Yeah.
But yeah, actually I was listening to David Goggins' book, and it's just parts that it just makes you want to run through walls. You feel invincible. But what's funny about that is I still have yet to really start my fitness journey like I want to. So that's definitely still my loss. I feel the gears slowly moving, and I don't know why it's so slow. I couldn't really tell you a specific reason, but I gotta get going. I gotta do it. I gotta do stuff. I gotta do what I don't want to do to get to where I want to be. So.
Yes, sir. To rip the Band-Aid off.
Mm-hmm.
Rip it off, man. As soon as
That's
you get
a
that
big one though.
1 turns to 2, 2 turns to 3, you just catch momentum, you catch wave, and start getting into that flow. And that's what victory is right now. So he's like, I just find it's hard for me to find a opportunity because right now I'm in my flow. And eventually that's when you catch that stride. That's where we're all looking to be, catch that stride. Win and a loss of me. My win, my loss, I'll start with my loss. My son's just outdoing me right now. And just being on top of the stuff, just little things like with my nutrition, he's staying disciplined and I'm like not as disciplined. He's doing his cardio no matter what, whether it be 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night, and I'm making an excuse. And so it hits hard because I'm supposed to be leading by example, which is good. I'm excited for him. It's all good, but it does take a toll on me. It was like, I talk the talk, I need to be able to walk the walk. And so today, I decided to do some, like Ian said, David Goggins makes you want to run through a wall, right? Makes you want to do some hard stuff. And so right before the podcast, it's 26 degrees outside. And I was like, I'm gonna go for a run. Now, granted, I haven't ran. I took like a 6-month break from running. I got shin splints. I got all the old man pains, right? Plantar fasciitis, all that good stuff. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go for a run. I'm gonna invite Slice. Is he about that life? Is he about the life he says he's about that life? We're about to find out. Slice. Let's go for a mile run. No, I'm good. Well, I'm going to do it. So, boom. When Desi thought I was playing, so I came down with my jacket and my running. She's like, "Are you serious?" I was like, "I'm just about to go for a mile run. Like, I ain't about that life. I was like, listen, last time I barely made it a mile. My shins were like, and so Went out there, went for the mile, right? Had David Goggins in my ear the entire time. And all that motivation, all that, like you're already winning. There's like that sense of like you have a lot of energy. So I got to the mile and I didn't turn back around. Something just said, just keep going. Like you feel amazing, you feel fine. Just keep going. So now I'm like a mile and a half. I'm like, well, where are you really going, Jonathan? Like you're gonna get stuck out there. Your knees gonna blow out. Your shin's gonna blow out. You're gonna end up walking like 2-3 miles home, and it's 26 degrees outside. Where you going? And so I said, I don't know. I'm just gonna keep running. I'm gonna keep running. I got to I-30, the tollway, which is about 2 miles away from my house. And instead of turning back, man, I bust a left. I'm going in the opposite direction of my house. And now I made it to 3 miles, or about almost 3 miles. And I got to the point where no matter what, if I turn around, it's 3 miles back. And if I keep going in this loop, it's 3 miles home. So now I'm like in this point of like, fuck, I'm committed. Let's go. And so what I got to find out during this run was what David Goggins is talking about is you get to put yourself in this mindset where you invite that little voice in your ear that's saying to slow down, give up, take a break. Oh, you've done enough. You proved, John, you came out for a mile. Like you've done enough, bro. Chill. And then so I do what Vic does best, and this is reevaluate where you currently are. And I started to understand. I was like, whoa. There's that voice. I can like physically see that voice talking to me. And once you like physically see that voice talking to you, then you're able to like flip the switch and not listen to it because you understand what it's doing. It's trying to seek comfort. And during this time period, you know, David Goggins in that ear, and you have to seek that discomfort. Like that's what separates you from a majority of everyone else that's trying to make it big, is that when they hit that zone where that struggle, they tend to back off. And it's for a good reason. There's like some common sense and some rationalized that you should probably be listening to. It's telling you, Jonathan, like your knees are going to be jacked tomorrow. Like you are going to be in so much pain. Just walk it. When you get back to HEB, you're good. Just walk it home. Like you start rationalize things and justifying and giving every excuse to stop. But my main goal was during this whole race against myself was I'm not stopping. And then so I got crazy, bro. I started beating my chest. I started like eating the phone. I was recording myself and just got this sense of anger, this sense of hunger, this sense of I won't quit. And that got me all the way home. Even the last mile, I didn't want to stop. My shoe was untied. It came untied. I was like, I'm not stopping. I'm going to keep running. But then that little voice, oh, you're stupid. You're going to step on your shoe. You're going to bust your ass. You're going to fall. But it's like, no, I'm not stopping. So it was just an amazing feeling to embrace all that adversity. And I haven't done it in a long time. So shout out to Jeremiah for being a little punk and staying disciplined to all his stuff, which is good. You got to have people at some point operate at a higher level than you, so that way you can get your ass in gear. And so that's kind of what I needed, and it was good.
Oh, that's good to hear, man. Like I wanted to go run too. I was gonna wait until it got better outside as far as the ground, and I went out.
I'm not gonna lie.
I went out, and then I was like, oh, the ground's pretty good. I'm gonna come back, and then shoot, I went for diapers, and then man, I was like, everything was like closed. A lot of stuff were like closed early. So I was like, damn it. So I kind of burned a lot of my time. But yeah, man, to me, running in like cold weather is like probably the best because you have that like, it's like you're doing something hard. Like when you're out in this 26, 25 degree weather, you feel like you're doing something hard, something normal people don't do. You feel great that like you get that pump. They're like, oh, I'm doing this right here. So that's what I like the most about the cold, because no one's out there running. Like, you know, I put a post on Facebook on my personal, it's a great day to run. And everyone's like, nah, you know, no.
I didn't even see it.
Crazy. Start making jokes and stuff, except for one person. And he's a camper. He's come to my camps a couple times. Older dude, but man, that dude has like endurance like no tomorrow, bro. So he was like, yeah, it is. And he posted a picture of him running like in like he has like iced up here and like his little beard, like everything. I was like, damn, you're like, you're a beast. I've seen him in person. He's a beast. But
actually, speak of that leverage, I leverage that. When I wake up at 3 a.m., that's what gets me up, is because everyone else is asleep. Why I ran, if it was a normal day outside, I probably wouldn't have ran. But because nobody's running, you get that, you leverage this energy. Like you harness and you leverage it to whatever you're trying to achieve. And so it's an awesome feeling, man. Awesome. I'm kind of cold. I was warm, which I don't have a hoodie on, and it's cold in my garage. Obviously, it's cold in garages. And so I was like hot and heated, but now like My nipple is starting to pop out a little bit. I'm gonna have to censor this on the Zoom. But man, let's go ahead and get into the topic, guys. We talk about GOATs, we talk about legends, and we like to, see the perspective in their life, where they got and where they are now, and all the adversity and triumph that they've been through is probably why they're exactly where they are today. And so we want to share our experiences from just studying David Goggins, and what did we take away from this guy? What did we learn from him? And how can we apply it into our life? Because at the end of the day, we can learn, we can watch, we can read, we can do all this stuff, but if you're not applying it, you're kind of just wasting a lot of energy. And so that's not what I want to be doing, is wasting energy. So off the bat, Mr. Ian here just finished reading the book. First of all, tell us about the book, Mr. Ian. And how you felt about it.
The book is phenomenal. Like, it's a book that you definitely should and could read multiple times, like at different stages of different seasons of your life.
Why do you feel that way?
Sorry?
Why do you feel that way?
Just because it's so inspiring. Obviously we've highlighted other people before, but just the clear cutness and the rawness that he brings to it, kind of just stuck with me a little bit more than some of the other books that we listened to or have read. Like, I'm surprised there's not a movie out based on his life, just his sheer will to achieve what others say he can't achieve, or at one point he thought he couldn't achieve. Because this man literally had 1 billion seasons within a year of his life to get through everything and kind of change everything. And it's amazing to see that our mind truly does determine how far we can go. So yeah, if you haven't, I would suggest listening to it on Audible. And I say this because there's a podcast, quote unquote, portion after they go through certain chapters, and they dive deeper, and it's fucking awesome.
So basically, this guy's a Navy SEAL, and he wasn't always a Navy SEAL, and he wasn't always a Superman and an insane, mentally tough person like he is today. And a lot of people think that he was gifted with this mental toughness that he has, where he's always doing something hard every single day. It starts with him growing up as just being not smart, being stupid, being dumb, grew up in a household that was filled with violence, watch his mom get beat constantly every single day, watching his brothers get beat. He got beat every single day, just being in a household where there's a lot of tragedy. There's a lot of trial and tribulation throughout all of it. His education, not being smart and black, and being the only person in the school area as a minority, just going through all the race. Having seen multiple deaths at such a young age, having to deal with this and depression, and just a lot, so much. It's so tragic that I was all like, man, I can't let Lennon Slice read this book. Like, it hits the soul and hits the heart like really hard, and it makes you, perspective, like, whoa, you thought you had it bad? Like, take a seat where he's at and feel the pain he's feeling, because he does a really good job in this book. Letting you feel that pain. Can you agree, Ian? Like,
oh yeah.
Sometimes I'm like, little watered eye, like, because you get to put myself in his shoes, and then I start thinking about my life, and if I had to go through, the beat downs and the deaths and just the loss, and having to go to school and being not smart and having to stutter when he spoke because of just anxiety and depression. It's kind of wild. I dealt with something like that, which is a little bit weird, where I would develop a stutter, or I would mess up my words, or literally, like, I couldn't control what I would say, and I couldn't execute the words properly, even though I talk on a normal day-to-day basis. But if I got into a certain environment, it would like all just go out the window. And it was like weird. When I got to leadership and got to high level people, I got anxiety, just palms sweaty. And then when I had to speak, bro, I couldn't speak to save my life. And I would go home like, what the hell was that? What is that? So having to go through that, and I've got to interact, or not interact, but I got to feel a lot of the things he's felt with, because I've dealt with a lot of struggle and adversity, and I have a tight bond with his life, so close. And because he's a dog, he has that dog mentality, but it wasn't really always like that for him. Anyways, he got sick and tired of being a loser. I think he was like up to 300 pounds as like an 18, 19-year-old. Didn't know what to do with his life, just playing victim all his life, right? And then he's like, you know what? I need to be a Marine, right? I need to. It wasn't a Marine. I think it was like, I want to join the Air Force.
He was going to be a pararescue.
First he was trying to do the pararescue.
Yeah, and so he had to lose a shit ton of weight. He had 3 months to lose 106 pounds, I believe.
Yeah, it was 106 pounds. And actually before that, it was in high school because he didn't make the basketball team. Like literally his life is like he almost gets over the hump. Like he sees the light at the end of the tunnel and then just gets pulled right back down and has to start again. But no, this man met somebody, and I forgot where it was a camp or something like that got him interested in the Air Force pararescue. So he went after that, and he failed the ASVAB twice. And after passing it, he went to training, was diagnosed with sickle cell. So they had to pull him from training. So he has this dream, right? He's there. He got past like the education portion, which was always his crutch, not his crutch, but his weakness growing up. Like this man just knew he wasn't smart, and he's admitted to it in his book multiple times. And really at that point, which is weird, he had the option to come back and restart the training, but he didn't. He quit. And
he was a quitter. He's been a quitter his whole entire life.
Exactly.
Which is his entire life.
Which is nuts. But I mean, as we know, just as how we're learning and improving ourselves, it's all perspective and the flip of a switch. So yeah, he quit that, and then I believe he was a fumigator for like a couple years, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Pest control, exterminator, whatever.
Control.
Yeah,
bro.
I think it was for Ecolab, if I remember the book right, and he did that. And to John's point, at that point, he got sick and tired of being sick and tired too. So then he wanted to, at that point, was what? I'm losing it. Tactical air control party. So he had to do the buds training. So before that, to what Jonathan was saying, he had to lose 106 pounds.
That's kind of where it started, where he was able to switch something and was like had to lose 106 pounds in 3 months. Like, bro, people can't even lose 5 pounds in 3 months.
On top of that, he had to study, for the test, as well as lose 106 pounds. I would love to lose 106 pounds. But no, go ahead.
And the training and the modality of like, you think you're busy, this guy is still working a job and was still able to lose 106 pounds in 3 months. Now, granted, it wasn't just a switch and then it was all good from here on out. There's always the storm. So yes, he got some wins. He built some toughness, built some discipline, and kind of realized of like gained some confidence. Like, man, I just did that. That was like his first big win of like doing something that nobody else can possibly just think of doing.
But before he even actually decided to lose the weight, like he at first, from what I heard on one of his videos online, was at first he was like 106 pounds, like screw that, I'm not gonna do that. But then like he got sick and tired like of cockroaches. Like he's like, I don't like cockroaches. And then he's like, you know what? I need to do this. I need to prove everyone wrong. And then that's when he like it wasn't that first thing. Like when he first heard 106 pounds, he's like, I can't do that. But then it was that I think he watched it. He was listening to a video, like something on TV as he was in the shower. He had turned up the volume, and I think that's what it kind of sparked it to. Like he's like, you know what? I need to push myself. I need to do this. I need to prove everyone wrong. I need to prove myself wrong. And that was the beginning. He does it. Yeah.
And he gets into buds training, which is probably the hardest military training known to man, which is 6 months of gruesome, fucking terrible shit constantly for 6 months. I can't even describe it. It's from like what's the best way to describe buds training? Ian, do you have an idea from reading the book? Do you have a better
some just basically torture, like some type of Roman, or you think of like medieval torture, like possible. Like they won't let you die. They're going to keep you living as long as you possibly can. Is how I kind of
6 months of nonstop working out, going into the ocean in cold water, constantly just lack of sleep, barely feeding these guys, and waking up and doing it all over again for 6 months straight. So like, I don't. Somebody probably needs to pull up the stats. Like, what are the stats of how many people start to how many people actually get through? It's very slim.
I think it was, it's over 100. And I think he said on average 20.
30, okay,
20 to 30.
About 20%. Say around 20% people actually make it. And it's just mental toughness, literally. How much can you mentally endure to make it on the other side? And if you've quit, you got to go ring this bell in front of everyone as your sign as you're quitting. And so this guy, not only did he do it one time, he failed. He had to back out. He got sick, right? He got sick midway through. So they had to pull him. So he doesn't get a green light to go forward. And so he has to wait another 6 months, go back in there again. And he quit again because of, why did he quit the second time?
No, he finished it, but he didn't. I don't think he passed. Like he finished the course, but didn't pass because he got injured a lot from like the shin splints, the problems with his ankles, things like that. There's a lot of muscular and skeletal issues that he was dealing with.
Well, he had to quit again. I totally forgot why, but he had to quit again. Now, most people would have said, all right, there's a sign. This is not for me. I need to find a different path. There's no way I can mentally endure to do this a third time. And slim to none, the people that actually go a third time around, they usually stop and quit. And it's like, all right, this is not for me. But this guy does it a third time. And he gets pretty close to the goddamn end again. And he has to run, I don't know how many miles. And the doctor knew that his shins were broken. Like he has broken shin splints. And the doctor knew, and he knew, if the doctor pulls him, this is it for his military career. But the doctor knew the situation he was in, was all like, I can't do this to this guy. So David Goggins finished the buds training on broken shins, on just pure that mental strength and perseverance to just keep going. Like, I don't understand how you can do that mentally. But during this whole entire phase, you got to invite that little voice in your ear. That entire time you got to embrace like every single moment of suffering, and you got to understand how is he so capable to doing it not just one time, two times, but three times when people can't even do it one time. Is he developed a system called Taking Your Soul. And this is kind of fun, and I kind of use this now, where people think it's the hardest and they're in the most darkest place and they're in their struggle and they feel like you're about to get defeated, you defeat them. Somehow, some way, you got to defeat their mind. For example, when they would go run on miles on end and there's not really an end date to their run, people are getting tired, people are fatiguing, like the soldiers are getting really tired, and the sergeants would say, hey, we're going to finish at mile 2. So what mile 2 does, or we're going to finish in 2 miles. And what that does, it gets people an end date. People start getting excited. So there's a sense of energy that, oh man, the finish line's coming. And so what the sergeants do is they get to that finish line, but then they say, let's keep going. And so what does that do to everyone? So it breaks their morale. They're like, they thought they were done. You can see the people start slowing down. You can see the long faces. They thought it was going to end. And so what David Goggins does, well, instead of being like everyone else and feeling soggy, he would take the sergeant soul by going faster, by saying, hell yeah, by saying, let's go, by getting turned on when they're supposed to be being turned off. Right. So when you think that when people are trying to make you lose, you do the complete opposite and you mentally break them. When they think it's going to be hard for you, you prove that it's not even hard whatsoever. Like I took the soul of Jamar today when I went to go run. I was like, he thought he was hard. I'm going to go run. He thought he was hard doing all the things, always talking crap to me every single day by me not being disciplined. And I was like, you know what, Slice, let's see what you're about, bro. Let's go outside and run in 26 degree weather. And he did it. So as soon as I went out there, took his soul.
Yeah, and I liked hearing about like what kind of like sparked that in him, like what made him come up with that. I don't know if you guys, I mean, if it's in the book or not, because I didn't read it, but did you guys hear about why or like how that came about?
What's that?
Taking souls. He says it in the book. Yeah, he says it in the book, and it was just a way to find peace inside of himself.
Well, no, like I'm asking like what actually sparked that to create that.
It was a
like,
sergeant.
He was saying he's a big Rocky fan, and he was watching Rocky go against Apollo Creed, and it was I guess in the 14th round, and he keeps getting knocked down by Apollo Creed. Almost the end of the round, he gets knocked down. Apollo Creed thinks he won. His arms are up. He's cheering. like for himself, and then like everyone's telling him, don't get up, you're done. But Rocky doesn't listen and gets up anyways.
There you go.
And then they show a clip of Apollo Creed's face when they see that he got back up, and he just looked defeated. Like that's where he's like, he took his soul, and that's kind of where things changed in the round. And so that's kind of like what kind of sparked it in him to kind of come up with this take your soul challenge or whatever.
There you go. And it works. It works. Can you imagine somebody feeling like they're about to beat you, and then, or they're doing damage to you, and you just smile in the face of adversity? Like that right there just gives you all kinds of power. Of power.
And it reminds me of Andrew Luck. Like I'm wearing a Colts shirt. Like when players would sack him, he would thank them for sacking him. Like people look at him like, this dude's crazy. Like, why is he thanking me?
Well, during this entire phase, he's just like mentally just sculpting his brain to become just armor, having to go through buds, 3 times. After that, he gets through it. And then he starts working for, the army. What is it? Not the army.
He was a Navy SEAL.
Navy SEAL.
He starts working for them, and he gets to a point like, what's next? And he realizes, I need to do something stupid again. I'm looking for a challenge. I need to do something crazy again because I'm not testing myself. I'm not challenging myself. I'm not growing. So then he becomes a crazy ass ultra runner. If anybody knows what ultra runner is, they're running at least 50 miles or above, right?
I think
they go into
100 miles. Yeah.
They go into 100 miles. And then they go up to crazy things. Like, it's just, you become anything that I believe is past 30 becomes ultra. Not too sure. I'm not a runner, but I just know that anything past a marathon is pretty intense. I just ran a half marathon, and I thought I was going to freaking die. Like, literally took my soul right out of me. So I can't imagine anything past that. But so his life goes on, and he's not trying to look for attention. He's not trying to look for media. He ends up, it follows him because of his work ethic, because of his mindset of how he's pursuing these crazy, insane events just to challenge himself, to jump in the cold water, to do all these crazy things that nobody could think of. And he's looking forward to it, is what brings him to his book, which brings him to this mindset, which brings him to his successes. He's not looking for it. He was seeking the hard from all of it. And even though he's kind of made it to a degree where we're actually speaking about him, he's still doing crazy shit every single day. You can go to his Instagram. He's working out and he's running hundreds of miles, and he's on camera just talking shit. And that's kind of what he's known for. Talk shit while he's working out, just to remind you that you're a little bee, and that you should get your stuff into gear and you should keep pushing forward. But as little nuggets, if y'all have one nugget you could take away from this guy that you're going to apply into your life, what would it be?
I think for me, it's his 40% rule. I love it because it can apply to everything. So his 40% rule is this term used to explain your mind and your body. When you're doing something strenuous or stressed out, when you're telling yourself you're done, you're really only at like 40% of what you can give. Now for me, when I think of that, and it just literally clicks. So I love this thing. I think about it like right now, like when my son asked to play and I say I'm tired, I'm not tired. I'm only at 40%. I still got 60% of love and time that I can give my kids. So that for me is the biggest thing, because there's been so many times, even at adolescent age in high school, when you're like working out and you just feel gassed. It's really mind over matter. So that for me is the biggest takeaway.
Yeah. You got anyone, Chris?
Yeah, I would say the fact that, like you said, just to, like, don't put limits on anything. Like, if you come up with like a goal, like I want to reach this certain level, and then you accomplish that goal, like what now? Like, you don't want to get complacent. So you say, yeah, you can, I mean, I don't know exactly how he goes about it, but I know like once he accomplished something, he's like, okay, well, now what? Like I need to find the next challenge. Like he embraces the challenge and doesn't settle for comfort.
Yeah. I mean, I think we all fall into that trap where we thought there's like the end, there's this finish line. of like, I'm going to retire. Everything's going to be golden. You're going to go through your golden years. And it's almost like false hope, because once you get there, you realize that was never the dream. The dream was always you climbing up the mountain each time and seeing success, climbing up the mountain each time. And when you stop doing that, you lose a sense, like you lose this piece of you. And there was a quote, I don't know who said it. It's on Instagram. Reels has become awesome with all the quotes and stuff. But it says at the top of the mountain, you're going to be at the bottom of the next one. And basically it's saying there's more. Like there's not this peak mountain that's at the very top. There's another one, and you're at the bottom of that one. It just keeps going. And we kind of fool ourselves to think that there's just top, there's this peak. And it's wild, because there's not. Life continues to go. You need to continue to pursue challenges and continue to live and experience and embrace all that comes with it.
And when I think about that, like, I just think about a lot of like older people, like when they retire, often that's when they tend, like a lot of them just, when they're just living their retirement life, just hanging out at the house, that's when you see a lot of people pass, unfortunately, because like they're so used to constantly grinding, constantly working. And then if they're, especially when they're workhorses, like if they're always doing something physical or something a little bit more challenging, and then you take that away from them, it's almost like they lose their purpose. And yeah, it's just kind of sad to see, but it's a reality that's out there.
Yeah, David.
Man, no, just reading this guy's story, and then I listened to a couple of podcasts that he's been on. And so extraordinary. You guys already said a bunch, stuff, but just to me, it's just his overall mentality. And that one of the things is, even though he's reached all these heights, he never forgets, what he's been through. And then when things get hard, he can always remind himself, like, things I've gone through, have brought me to, to this here. So I was like, I can push through more, or, so I think just having that, built up that toughness mentally, and able to quiet down, the voice, or, get him to, give another, 60%, like all these things have been, have been fostered and grown in from everything that he's been through. So I think everyone that's gone through something tough, I think there's two ways that can go. You can, lean into that, right? And then and let that govern your life, your entire life, whatever tragedy, whatever thing that, trauma that happened to you. Or you can use that and saying, hey, if I survive that, I can do X, Y, Z, right? So that's what I get out of it is that you are capable of molding yourself to rise above your trauma, rise above whatever tragedy you've gone through. You have that ability. We have David Goggins as an example. He's gone through a lot of stuff. I think a lot of people that gone through trauma or a lot of things that tragedies happen to your life, I think it's a good book to read into, because like if he gone through something like that and he gone through it, obviously you're not gonna after this read this book, you're not gonna go run 100 miles, but
almost did, bro.
Yeah,
I mean, he did. He did it.
But putting that aside is just forging your mind to like, hey, there is a way out of my tragedy, my fight, my struggle, whatever it is, right? Health, mental, whatever, right? So that's what I get out of it, that I think there is hope from out of trauma, out of tragedy, you can move up. And again, I haven't been to like trauma or tragedy compared to other people or David Goggins, but that puts me in perspective, saying, hey man, you have your own tough things gone through, but you know what, that's molded you for something better. And then you haven't gone through hard stuff like other people have, so you can push through.
Yeah, well, I kind of have almost the same nugget as you, Victor. That's kind of what I took. David Goggins says he is where he is right now today, is because all the trauma and trial and tribulation he's been through, that has calloused his mind. And he said that's my secret power. He's like, I didn't realize that all this stuff was happening to me for a reason, so I can become the person I am today. And then once you realize that when you're going through the challenges and the adversity, that it's there to help you become stronger and grow into that next person. But obviously you have to understand it in the moment that that's there for you, or you can go the opposite direction, or you can play victim. But what you could take away from David Goggins is when you're in that moment, you like Victor, you have that choice. Is it going to defeat you, or is you're going to understand in this moment and it's going to make you stronger? And once you understand that moment, that's when like you're unstoppable. Once you understand that this can't stop you, nothing can stop you. And then you just continue to grow and plow through and keep grinding. And you gain, every time you plow through and you keep grinding, you gain confidence. Every rep, every repetition, you gain confidence. And then you literally become invincible almost to a degree, because you believe you have so much confidence. But the other thing I want to speak on, one last nugget that I got from David Goggins, is because of that, he seeks discomfort every single day, because he's callous in his mind. So when bad shit does happen, he's already ready for it. He does hard shit every single day. He's building repetitions in his mind, strengthening his mind every single day. So when that storm comes, it doesn't matter. I'm already torturing myself. Whatever you got, it's nothing, right? So train your mind, train your body, train your spirit every single day. So when the storm comes, you're ready for it.
Yeah, I like that. It's like have you seen that movie Shang-Chi, where like he's hitting like the tree or the post? So a lot of people train, like a lot of fighters like hit something hard, especially the MMA fighters, or those that like with their shins and stuff.
Yeah.
They
Muay
hit,
Thai.
Fighters,
yeah. They hit it so hard, so by the time they hit like a person, it's like soft compared to that tree that they were being hitting on for years.
And it calluses their shins. It becomes hard. So because like a piece of iron that you're hitting,
it's supposed to be like scientifically to where if it actually builds the bone stronger.
Yeah, no, it does.
Yeah, so that's kind of what I got from what you just said, is that, hey, you train yourself, you put yourself in situations so you can kind of build your mind to be tougher than before. So when that tough situation comes, you're ready for it.
That's what my run was for today. My run wasn't for me running. I'm not a runner. My goal is not to become an elite runner. My run was for how far can you go before you stop? I didn't really have a plan. I was like, let's just go, and we're going to figure it out as we go. Doubt did cross my mind plenty of times. We should probably turn around, bro. This is stupid. Kept going. I felt like Forrest Gump. Let's keep going.
And I was running.
But yeah, man, awesome guy. Definitely, guys, if you need the spur of motivation or inspiration and a different perspective, this is the guy you should listen to. It turned my son into a complete monster, which I would like to take credit that I turned him into a complete monster, but it was this guy.
Yeah, I think it's a great book. I was is people that recommend that book is to mold your mind, a lot of your mind and stuff. People recommend that book a lot. So I've seen it on Instagram pop up, to mold your mind, put your mind for mindset. That's a good book.
Callous your mind is the way he puts it. Callous your mind. Let's go. All right, that's it, man. That's all I got.
Lit. I'm gonna leave us with one quote. He said, this is in regards to like taking the easiest path. In his book, he says, I thought I'd solved a problem when I was really creating new ones by taking the path of least resistance. Learn from David Goggins, learn from the greats. Tackle the hard shit every day. Put stuff you hate in your repertoire, your habits every single day, and you will be better from it. I personally am gonna do my best to do that, because I clearly haven't done that yet. But
eating sweets, I'm gonna tackle that every day.
Okay. Go to Trader Joe's and tell me what you come out with. Anyways, you were born to be great, so please go and do it. As always, thanks for joining us today. Till next time, peace and love.